this alternate gather dress. It's going to be a very short and simple video, so you can make yours below the knee, you can make yours above the knee, it depends on you. You can have pockets. So the first thing you're going to do is to determine the length. So for this, I'm going to be using about 2.5 yards of fabric, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to, like how we normally do here, you're going to subtract and find what will be the bottom flay length. So guys, to determine the bottom flay, remember, like, you're going to measure your shoulder to where you want the line to be, maybe below your knee, above your knee, and then you're going to subtract whatever you get. You're going to subtract your shoulder to your waist from it, right? So that's how you're going to get the remaining. So let's say the full length I'm working with is let's say is 40, right? And then I'm going to subtract my shoulder to my waist from it. Let's say my shoulder to my waist is 17. So what I'm going to be left with is going to be equal to 23 or so, right? 23. So that 23 is going to be the length of my bottom flay, and to that 23 I'm going to add 1.5 to it, right? 1.5 inches to it, so that I can use 1 inch to fold the rough end here. 1 inch is what you use to fold the rough end, and then the other half I'm going to use the half to join the bottom to the top part of the flay. So that's why you add 1.5 to it. So that means the total length of my flay is going to be about 24.5, right? So I've cut that out here. So you see I've cut mine out, so that's the length I have here. And to determine the width, you can use your waist measurement times 2, your waist measurement times 3 to determine the width you're going to be using. But for me, since I'm using 2.5 yards of fabric, I'm just using the same amount of gather here. So I just cut half of that 2.5 yards of fabric. So that's what I'm using for my gather. Yeah. So this is the remaining part of it here. I'm going to now start cutting my bodies. So guys, the next thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into 2. So now we're going to start drawing our bodies, right? So what I'm going to put in here is my shoulder to waist, which is the 17 I told you guys about, plus extra 1 inch to it, right? So when you add that, you're going to come up here and mark the length you're working with. So plus 1 inch, the 1 inch is half an inch for joining the top part, half an inch for joining the bottom part. And so guys, I'm going to put in my shoulder measurement, which is 16. So I'm going to mark that here. 16 inches divided by 2, that's 8. So your shoulder measurement is what you're going to put in here, and then you're going to put in your armhole, right? My armhole is 20 divided by 2, that's it here. I'm going to connect it up here. Someone was asking me in the comment section the other time, how do you get armhole? I'm going to insert a picture of how to measure your armhole, but basically that's going. So after that, you're going to put in your curve here, and then the next thing you're going to do is to measure your waist and then divide it by 4. So the waist measurement divided by 4, which is 36, divided by 4 is 9, plus extra 2 inches is 11. So I'm going to mark that here. So your bust measurement divided by 2 plus 1, your waist measurement divided by your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch, and then your waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches, because 1 inch is going to go for the dart, right? So we're going to just connect this part here. We've drawn our armhole. So let me just make the chalk visible. I'm going to come to the neckline. I'm going to mark 3 inches here, and then you're going to come down here at the arm, and then you're going to mark 1 inch. Just draw in your normal bodies, right? Just make sure you put in everything, and then you come here and you're going to mark 3 by 3 inches. So you've marked 3 inches this way, you're going to mark 3 inches down, and then you're connecting it this way. You're going to put this here, and then after that, the next thing you're going to do now is to, on this line, right, on this neckline, I don't know if you guys can see this curve that you've made here on this neckline, right? You're going to just place your tape and mark 1 inch from it, right? So I'm going to just place my tape right on this line and then mark it out. So now that's 1 inch I came down. You can make yours 1.5, you can make yours 1, depending on you. So you're just going to connect it to this here. So that's it. Connect it to this armhole line. So that's basically how you're going to get this halter neck. And then you're going to cut this whole thing out this way. So you're going to start from the waist, go this way, this direction, straight up to this way. So guys, the same way you normally cut your normal bodies, right? So you see what I have here now. I'm just going to add an extra 1.5 inch here for my zip allowance. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1.5. So I'm just going to mark a straight line down here and cut it out. So let me show you guys how this works. So normally, right, your back bodice is going to look something like this. So let's say this is the front, okay, this is the front bodice, right? So your back bodice is supposed to come in this way, mark neckline this way, shoulder this way, and then maybe it goes this way, right? And then you put in your armhole and all, right? So it's supposed to look something like this. This is the back. This is normally what the back bodice looks like, but we want the back to be open, right? We want the back to be open. So we are going to tie the shoulder, so we want the back to be open. So that part of the back that's why these bodies are the pattern we're using is shorter, because we're still going to have our zip allowance here, right? We normally have like a zip allowance, but we've given the zip allowance at the bottom here. So all you have to do now is just to go ahead and cut off the excess, right? So I'm just going to shape in the bottom part here. Just cut out the waist and make sure that the waist is the same as the front pattern here. You're going to cut it out, same waistline, the same thing, and then cut it up to the bust. So you make sure it's the same here. And then because the side of this front is going to meet the side of the back, so you see where my armhole is here. So I'm just going to mark that on the back panel, and then I'm going to open it up. So what you can do now is you can go ahead and cut it on a straight line this way. If you want your back panel to be this length, right, you can go ahead and just cut out this piece here, and your back panel will be this length. So when you tie the rope on your neck, it drops and half of your back is open this way. Another thing you can do is, if you don't want it like a straight line at the back, what you can do is give it a curve, right? Just give it a curve. I think if you give it a curve, it will be more flattering, like giving it just a slight curve coming this way, right? You see, just like this. So this will be the back of your dress. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this out now. I'm giving it this curve now, but don't forget to also add your seam allowance, like half an inch of seam allowance to it, so that you can use your bias to finish it up, right? So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just cut this out. Okay. So guys, the only thing that matters here is that the length of the back, the side where the side is where the front and the back will meet. You need to make sure that the two of them are of the same length. So that's why I said to make sure that this side meets is the same length as this, but this center part you can always curve it in. But as you're curving it, let's say you're using a straight line, just make sure that this part here still maintains the length, right? It still maintains the length. You don't want, after when you finish everything, you find that the back is longer. So make sure that as long as this back here maintains the same length as the side in front, so your curve also is going to meet up this same line. So let's say this is the straight line of your back, the curve will also blend into that same straight line. So that's how you're going to do it. So you see, I finished mine. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and dart it. So to give it a dart, all you have to do is to measure your breast point. So for me, that's 8 divided by 2, that's going to be 4. So I'm going to put that in here. So I'm going to mark 4 inches, right? And then for my shoulder to bust is about, remember there's 1 inch that we already cut out. So I'm just going to stop my tape at this point here, remembering that I already took out 1 inch. So my shoulder to bust is 11 inches, right? So my dart is supposed to stop 1 inch before my bust. So my dart is stopping at 12. So now I'm just going to draw in my dart this way, right? And then mark half an inch on each side and then blend it in. So this is going to be my dart here. So all I have to do is to notch it. Even for the back, my dart is going to, so I'm going to notch it here. So even my dart at the back is going to go up to the end, right? Because normally your dart at the back is longer than this. So my dart even at the back is going to go up to the end of this here. So all I have to do now is to put in, I'm using a lining, right? I'm just going to put in my lining. I'm going to dart this here up till the end, right? I'm going to just take it and dart it all the way to the end. So you see, I'm going to have one on this side. So let me show you guys what it will look like. One on this side, one on this side, with our zip allowance at the center. and then we're also going to take the front pattern and then place it on top. So you see our front pattern is going to come in, then our rope. I also cut a lining that is the same as this here. So you see I joined the two sides here. Another thing you can do is just to join like your fabric, take the main pattern, join it to the side and just join everything, and then take your lining, do the same thing, join the sides, and then you're going to just close it up one time. You understand? So but for me, I'm going to do it separately. So I'm going to do the one side separately, one side separately, and then close it, because I want my seam to be visible. In case if I ever want to take it in, I just take it in. But if you do the method where you join the side of your fabric together and then join the lining separately and then close it up one time, all your stitches will be inside of the cloth, and then when you want to take it in, you will have to lose it and do it over. So I like to use this method here. So what I'm going to do now is to flip this out. Right, so you see now I've finished the side. So you see I've finished this rough end here. This is what it looks like. I can go ahead now and put in my darts. So guys, you see mine here, this is it here. So you see the back. So guys, when you're giving that curve, you can go even deeper than this. Like your curve can go lower and just give like this shape coming down. It depends on you what you want to do, and then your zip will just come in from the skirt halfway. So you can even go lower than this here if you want. If you want, you can go lower than this. So the next thing you are going to do, you can see I've given it a dart. You see how I just gave it a dart all the way to the top here, give it a breast dart, side seam, and then the second dart on the side. So you see this is it here. So guys, this is what I was. So guys, you see what I did here. I wanted to just explain to you guys what I was saying. So you see, you're going to take the center part, put in your dart, put in the dart at the back. You see, I've done that. I just want to use this to illustrate. So I also did the same thing on my lining. So all you have to do now is measure and be sure that your bust is the same measurement, your waist is the same measurement, so that once you close up these seams now and iron it out, you know you can't turn it over again. It will be a lot of work. So now all you have to do is to go ahead and close up all this side to the point, and then close up this side to the back. So you will not even have side seam, and trim off excess seam that you have on the inside. So I'm just going to close this side up and close this side up. So guys, you see now we can move on to, I'm going to show you guys what the inside looks like. So you see why I said this method here. Let's say you want to take it in now, the side seam is on the inside, you can't do that, but it looks neat. You see the inside of this one, you see what it looks like here. All my seams are out. So if I ever need to take it maybe from the dart from the side, I can see all that seam. But if you are sure of what you're doing, like you want to use this one because of the how neat it is, you can use this method. You see the side, you just pull the side and then you put in everything. So this is what it looks like here. So we'll set this aside now. Moving back to our basic body. So now what we're going to do is to put in our necktie. So I use 5 inches of width, and then just use just a long strap that will be enough for you, maybe 25 inches or it depends on how long you want your strap to be. So what I'm going to do now is just to get it here and close up the end from one side to the end to the center, right, and then close up the other to the center and leave about 4 inches in between open and flip it inside out. Do now is to take this the way it is, and just there are 2 ways to join it. You can start from one side and just put it in here in between. So you see my stitch is here. I folded my fabric, 2 ends are closed, right? 2 ends of the belt are closed. So you can just go ahead, put it in here and just sew it down all the way, right? And just sew it down. Or if you want, you can use this method of you just place it this way, right? Place it this way, sew one layer first and then use the other layer to cover it up. It depends on you. So I'm just going to attach mine and then put the gather at the bottom and then add my zip also. So guys, you see I've added mine. So at this point, this is what I was saying, you can use this as a top. So you can use it as a crop top, and that's basically what you have to do. You fold the end and that is it. And you also put your zip. But if you want to use it as a top, what you're going to do is you're going to, when you go to put your zip, don't just join this about 1 inch, so 1 inch down of just joining the plain fabric, right? And then when you go to putting your zip is supposed to face down. If you make it face up, you can't be able to wear it. So just like how you normally put in your zip, just make sure that your zip is facing downwards instead this time around. A very short zip is what you're using. So since I've already finished my top, I'm just going to go ahead and attach the bottom girder and put in my zip. This is the zip I'll be using for it, and that will be it. Except you're using the jacket zip that separates and you can put one on each side, then you don't have to make your zip face downward. But if you're using the normal zip that comes with the end already closed, then you have to make sure that the zip is facing down. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and attached my flay at the end, and this is the dress here. And so let me show you guys the back. So you see, this is what I'm working with at the back here. So that's basically it. Thank you guys so much. You see my zip? So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.